Hello, happy Monday. Super excited to be here with you guys. I'm Bev McCullough from Flamingo Toes, and we are working on our A Walk in the Woods quilt. Sorry, my phone just started ringing. Threw me off. We are working on our A Walk in the Woods quilt, and we are sewing it together in sections, and I am having so much fun with this. I hope you guys are too. It's really fun. It's a new assembly for me. The other quilts that I've taught in our sew-alongs have been either block style or rows that are assembled, and this is kind of assembled in the round. We're assembling the center section and then each section that goes around it in parts. So it's kind of a fun, different way to put a quilt together, and I hope you guys are having fun. I'm loving seeing your photos. Oh, awesome. Sorry about that. I've seen your photos in the group, and those are so fun. I'm loving seeing all your progress photos and on Instagram as well. So definitely keep sharing those photos because they are going towards your giveaway entries for our big grand prize giveaway at the end of the sew-along, which I'm going to tell you about in a minute. So let's see who's here. I want to see who's able to join us live. So let's see, over on YouTube, Laura's here. So excited you're here to catch the live too, Laura. And Susie's here from Quebec. Welcome, Susie. And Val's here from sunny Tucson. I'm envious of you, Val. It's rainy and drizzly and gray. And I think it's going to be that way all week in Tennessee. So not so much sunniness happening here today, which I'm a little bit sad about. Ann is here from Texas. Sharon, rainy in Alabama. I think like it feels like our whole side of the country is maybe getting wet right now. And Cammie's here, Claudia and Christine, and it's snowing. Okay, Christine, I'll stop complaining about the rain. You have snow, you win. All right, let's see who's over on YouTube. Cindy is here from Wet, Ohio. Okay, so yes. And Wendy's here. Lisa, I'm so glad you're here. And she says she loves this quilt. I'm so glad, Lisa. Yay. And Dawn's here. Sunny. And yeah, I'm sure it is, Dawn. And Michelle's here. Chile, England. I love it, Michelle. That's awesome. Leanne's here. And Rhonda's here. She has all 4 grands with her today. And your daughter was in labor with your 5th. Oh my goodness. Well, we'll just say a prayer for your daughter there, Rhonda. Hopefully everything goes well for her today. That's super exciting. And Elizabeth's here. Oh, it's raining in Southern California. Nice. That's great. You probably need it a lot more than we do. And Dawn says, rainy, snowy, cold in Minnesota. Spring is slow in coming. Well, we have spring happening. We have everything blooming. My peonies, you guys, I'm so excited. I've decided they're my favorite spring flower. Well, I don't know. I really love a lot of them. I love the bulbs and the irises too, but the peonies are so big and pretty. And they look just so ugly when they, all winter long, they're just sticks because you cut them down. And then the green starts popping. So we're getting leaves, we're getting the branches. We don't have any of those hard little buds yet. So I'm ready for those to come. And then it'll take, I don't know, however much longer for them to pop. But super excited that the peony plants are coming. When they actually bloom, I'll take photos so you can show them. So you can see them. I love them so much. All right, everybody, let's talk about what we're doing. Oh, Mary Beth says it's gloomy in Indiana, but your tulips are blooming. I don't know. It doesn't feel like there's that many people that grow tulips here. It feels like we're more the daffodils, the irises. I don't see a lot of tulips. Maybe, I don't know why that is. I think they're great. Okay, so today's tea, you guys really loved the tea segment last week, and last week was a different tea, so I'm going to try and change it up as much as I can every week because I do have a large variety here at home. So this is a Harney and Sons tea, and it is Paris herbal. They make Paris in 3 different varieties. They make it in black tea, decaf tea, which is decaf black, and then they make it in herbal with the Robos. And I have both the decaf Paris and the regular, like the herbal Paris, and I think that I like the herbal one a little bit better. So the flavor's a little caramel, black currant, and vanilla. So if that seems like something that's your jam, I've linked to it in today's video description if you want to check it out. It's really nice one. I like it. It's one of those year-round, any time of day. Some teas I'm like only morning, only evening, you know. Maybe I'm weird that way. But this one you can drink any time of day, I feel like. It's really good. So today is Paris Herbal. And I would love to know what you're drinking today. Anybody? Oh, Rhonda says it's tea time. Yay, it is tea time. Wendy has a peony bush from her mom that is over 60 years old. Oh my goodness. Wendy, will you post a photo when it blooms in the group? I would love to see that. That's so exciting. Is it very big? Do you cut them back every year? Do they grow? Mine are like little things. I don't know. Sharon says photos, please. Yes. Yay. Okay. So let's talk about, we have so many things to talk about. Okay, so we're back to our Riley Blake Designs Block Challenge. This is the mystery quilt that Riley Blake is hosting. This is our 3rd year of doing it. It's amazingly fun, you guys, and challenging even for me. And I will tell you, this little guy, and I spent some time with my seam ripper, and only because I really wanted it to look good. You guys know I don't fuss too much about things that align, but these guys, this is 2 separate, you know, so there's a seam right here, so obviously 2 different pieces of fabric, so you really want these diagonal seams to line up. This one still I let kind of go. It's a little fudgy. The rest of them I did pretty good on, but this is called the Pop Star Block. It's designed by Heather Peterson. You guys know her. She's super talented, and her company name is Anka's Treasures, so A-N-K-A, Anka's Treasures. And if you haven't checked her out, I highly recommend her. Her quilts are just gorgeous. She does these really vibrant, rich color palettes for her fabric collections, and I think they're just gorgeous. So definitely check out Heather if you haven't already. But this is her block this week. I think if I had mine sideways. I fussy cut my little mushrooms so that they would look cute and all going the same direction. It's easier to fussy cut when you don't have to do an entire quilt, when you're just doing a little block, right? Because then it's like, oh, I'm only cutting out this little bitty square. It's fine. It's fine. So this is the Pop Star block. We have another one coming tomorrow by Melanie Collette, who is also awesome. Everybody at Riley Blake's awesome, right? I didn't mean to say we're as in I'm awesome, but all the designers there, I feel very, very fortunate to be a part of a company that is so talented and friendly and awesome. So if you are not sewing along with us, definitely still go on and download the blocks. They're free to download. There's videos for every block so that you can get like a little tutorial and get all the tips on how to put it together. And it's just a great library of blocks to have on hand, even if you don't have time to sew up the whole quilt. So go and do that. So you guys know that we have, also coming up in 2 weeks is Riley Blake's virtual quilt market. There is no in-person quilt market this year again, and so Riley Blake is hosting another virtual quilt market. So it is in a Facebook group you have to join, but anybody can join. It doesn't have to be just shops, so everybody can join and see. And it's really fun. It's 3 days of all the new things coming out over the next like 6-month time period. So if you join the group, there's nothing in there yet, but starting April, I almost said December. That one, I don't know where that came from. April 27th, 28th, and 29th. The 27th is when it all kicks off, and there will be videos and posts, links to blog posts, and live videos, recorded videos, everything going on all day long. It's just amazing, you guys. And it's everything with all the new fabrics that are coming out, new notions that are coming out, new licensed fabrics that are coming out. So that's like Barbie and Crayola and Hershey's. There's a really, really cute Hershey's Halloween collection that's coming out this year that you guys will like. You know, I don't know, Hershey's are what I love about Halloween, all those tiny little candies, and there's a whole collection from Hershey's that's for Halloween, which is super cute. So you'll get to check all that out. So I've linked, finally I remember today, I've linked in the video description the Facebook group. So all you have to do is go in there, request to join, and they'll let you in. And there's nothing in there really yet. That everything will start loading on the 27th. But if you're busy those 3 days, don't worry about it. Everything will stay in that group for 6 months. So even if you are able to be there, but then you forget, oh, I should have written down that collection name that's coming out in 3 months, you can always go back and check it later. So it'll be, all of it will be available for you to check out anytime until the next quilt market. So we're supposed to have quilt market in person this fall. We'll see if it happens. I'm hoping that it will, since things seem to be relaxing more and more. So I do really love getting together. So make sure you do that. I have 2 videos to present this year, so, or not this year, but at market this year. So I would love, love, love for you guys to show up and kind of be there to cheer me on. And it's really just the best seeing your familiar faces and names anyway. I can't see your faces, but I know your names. So if you guys would love to watch, that would be great. I have 1 video on the 27th and 1 on the 28th, and I'll share those times as I get a little bit closer. They're Mountain Standard Times, but I feel like they're both in the afternoon. So I think one's at 2, one's at 1, and one's at 2 Central. But I will definitely post in the Facebook group and on social media the scheduling, so as that gets closer, so you can check that out. So now it's time for giveaways. Every week we have a giveaway. That is my way of saying you guys are awesome for watching, and I appreciate you so much and all your support. So this week's giveaway is a really fun one. Well, it's from last week's video. I don't know. It's this week's giveaway prize, but last week's video. I always stumble over that. But anyway, it's a 10-inch stacker of Enchanted Meadow. That's what we're sewing with. We're not sewing with this pre-cut, but this is the fabric collection we're sewing with for this quilt. It's the one I have out right now. It's Enchanted Meadow, so you get 42 10-inch squares with this of Enchanted Meadow, and I'll show you the back so that you can kind of see the colors a little bit without trying to get that without the glare for you. I had to add extra lighting today because it's so gloomy outside that my window is not doing very much, so we have extra glare today. So a 10-inch stacker of Enchanted Meadow, and then I also have for you this really cute little pink Olfa. Let's see if I can cover up my face. It'll actually focus on it. So this is the Olfa Splash, and it's pink, which makes it even more awesome. And of course it comes with a blade, and it comes with the little handle thing that you can raise and lower so that you have your safety guard. And then a really cute charm from Lori Holt that looks like a little quilt block. Isn't that darling? With the pink and there's no pink, red and yellow, and then the turquoises. So these are cute for project bags. They're great for putting on, well, of course you can use it on your keychain, but you can use it, you know, on any kind of bag, on your purse, anything that you want to just keep a handle on. And our winner from this week is, she was watching last week on YouTube, and it's Nanny Okamoto. Let's see if that will zoom. There we go. It wants my face. So Nanny, you're our winner. If you will send me an email, bev@flamingotoast.com with your mailing address, I will get this out in the mail to you this week. I want that to fall. And then today we have another fun little bundle of prizes. This is very scritchy. I'm going to hold this as carefully as possible because it's so crinkly. So this is a really cute little canvas bag that Riley Blake puts out. It says it has this little punny pin pals, and I don't know if you can tell, but the pins have cute little faces, aren't they? Isn't that darling? And it's canvas, so you can add extra fabric to it if you want, or you can leave it as is. I like these for carrying embroidery projects, or even like little small paper piecing projects, or you could give it as a gift for a quilty friend, or you could put your makeup or something like that in it for travel. So it's just a really nice size and very, very crinkly, as I said. So that's our first prize. Then I have from Lori Holt, I have a really cute little measuring tape. This is great for carrying in your purse, so you can measure all your antiques when you go antique shopping, or, you know, whatever. You don't have to measure antiques. That's just what I do with it. And then I have an awesome little roly-poly for you guys. This is Gingham Gardens by My Mind's Eye. I'm going to turn it so you can see the colors. It is a gorgeous floral kind of farmhousey collection. So it's got this great big floral that comes in black. And then the other colors are kind of, well, let's go here. So sagey green, and then a really pretty like butter yellow. There's some cream prints. There's some pale aqua prints. It's hard to see that, but that's aqua. And then there's a little bit darker sagey, some pink, and a few more black prints, which kind of sounds like a lot. Let me turn it this way so you can see the color roll there. But she did a great job with the colors on these, and it looks beautiful together. It's a beautiful collection. So this is a cute little roly-poly for you guys. And a roly-poly is the same thing as a jelly roll. We just call them that at Riley Blake. So there are 40 strips that are 2.5 inches by the width of the fabric. So 42. So if you want to be entered to win this week's giveaway, all you need to do is comment on the video, and that counts as your entry. And you can comment as many times as you like, and I will draw the winner next week. So good luck for you on that. All right, let's see. I'm missing comments here. Pink is Rhonda's favorite. Me too, Rhonda. Okay. Rhonda says she really wants to do a Halloween quilt. Me too, Rhonda. I have one Halloween quilt that's a big pumpkin quilt that I made with like strips. It's on the blog. It's a free pattern on my blog, and it was really fun to put together, but that's really my only Halloween quilt. I was going to do one last year and it didn't happen. I was going to do one with my Holly Jolly wreath quilt, and the time got away from me, but maybe I'll get to it this year. That would be really good. Let's see. Oh, Dakota says she started to watch a few months ago and you are quickly becoming a favorite quilting friend. Dakota, that's the sweetest thing ever. Thank you for that. You made my day. Oh, I love it. Okay, so I just want to make sure that I'm not missing a question. I don't think so. If I missed a question, please don't feel like I'm ignoring you. It's hard to keep track, and I only have so much space for questions. So if I've missed a question and we're commenting about other things, please repeat it again, because that's no problem at all. It's a lot for me to keep track of all of the comments and stuff. Okay. Yay. Oh, so excited that you're excited about my new stuff. Yay. Thank you. Sharon has gone on the Riley Blake website and peeked because she said she's excited about Daisy Fields, so she knows the new collection's name. That's awesome, Sharon. Good for you. Yay. Okay. All right, so should we talk about this quilt? Let's sew. So this, I'm starting to assemble here. Now, I have started putting some of my blocks together, but we do have a week for block assembly. I'm going to scooch over here so I can hold this up for you. We do have a week for block assembly, and so if you haven't started to put together your blocks, don't feel like you're behind or you have to do that. We are going to go over all that again. Let me see if I can just take up the whole camera here. So, well, no, let's go back here. This is the center. So the center block is this portion right here. This is getting too big for me to hold. And the second week were these cute star blocks and the little flower basket. So you can see now we sewed these blocks together, but when you put them together with the triangles that are at the corners of the center block, that's what gives it that flower basket block look. So it's kind of fun that we are utilizing both sections, the center and the outside part, to create the look of that block. This is actually upside down. But so you can see how far we've gotten on the center and then the next row. Last week, it's so big. Last week we sewed together our first rows, our first Churn Dash rows. So there are 2 rows that look like this that have pink squares on either end, which you can't see, but they do. And then there are 2 rows that look like this without the pink squares. So these are the blocks that you will, these are the strips that you will sew to the sides of your large block, and then you will sew the ones with the pink squares on either end to the top and bottom of your large block. And you are going to sew these strips with the points towards the center. So the top strip will face this direction, the bottom strip will face this direction when you're looking at the block, so that these corners of our Churn Dash blocks, these basically make up the bases of our Churn Dash. So that's what the Churn Dash kind of looks like. Each of these will be pointing towards our center portion of our block. Okay, so I didn't sew those on yet, so I could show you that's hard to say, show you how those strips go and how they face. So you can see on our little mini printed one how the points of each of the bottom rows of the Churn Dash point towards the center. So this week we are making the top portions of our Churn Dash blocks. And there is a very good reason why we are doing these in two separate strips, and it is because of how everything nests together in this quilt. We're kind of layering these blocks together and these sections together so that everything kind of nests together well and we don't have a ton of white space in the quilt. So what we are doing, excuse me, one sec. What we are doing is you can go ahead and sew these small strips that we sewed last week to your block center, but now for the next couple of weeks, 3 weeks, you have to wait. You can't sew onto your quilt center yet because we're going to do some layering. So we are going to, these will get sewn eventually, but first we have to sew our tree row to it, and then we have to get our corner pieces ready before we can do that too. So you got to wait on assembly a little bit. So for now, if you've started assembling, now you can switch to just sewing your sections, and then during assembly week, we will go ahead and put together the rest of the quilt. So it's entirely up to you. You can absolutely wait and assemble it all that week as well. Whatever works best for you and your schedule. So it's really fun, and I'm going to give you a few tips today on assembling these rows, but in the past couple of weeks, we've gone over everything that you need to know to make these. You should now be pretty comfortable making half square triangles because those are the corners of all of our Churn Dash blocks. And we are going to, so I just have a couple tips for you today about speeding this process up because there are several pieces that go together. And I'm going to talk to you a little bit about fabric first. So last week I gave you the fabric names for making your quilt exactly like mine as far as the example. Don't feel like you have to do that. If you want to change up what pinks are where, if you don't want to use the mushroom print so you don't have to worry about if it's directional or if you have upside down mushrooms, I don't mind that because it is a square quilt, so it doesn't matter a whole lot. And you'll see once it gets to some of the Churn Dash corners that use the darker red mushroom print that I've just let that go. But if you want to change up your pinks in any way, just know that you might have to change up your pinks later in like the, we don't use any pinks in the tree rows, but there are some in the corner stars. So just keep that in mind that you might have to change that up a little bit. But I will say that for the pieces, the print fabrics that you used, A through G, last week, you want to use the exact same fabrics in the exact same order, A through F. So last week, F and G were cut from the same print. We used the dark pink dot print. This week, it's A through F as well, and you're going to use the same. So whatever fabric you used for A, we used the pink with the aqua flowers, pink and aqua flowers, and so we're going to do the same thing with A. And the reason for that is so that when you assemble your quilt, you want your Churn Dashes to line up. So I'm just going to kind of see if I can show you this. So I want, this isn't going to be exact because it is the corner here. So I want my Churn Dashes to line up and look like I've created the entire block, like not in strip form. So you can see that the top one is a Churn Dash that has all pink pine needles. This one has mushrooms and houndstooth. This one has the pink and blue flowers with the mushroom corners. So you can see how it will fit together to form what is a Churn Dash block. So that's why we're making sure that all of our letters are all the same. Does that make sense? If you have questions about that, let me know. So I'm going to just go over it again for you for this week. A is the pink and aqua flowers on the light pink background. If you want to do it like mine, again, please don't feel pressured. B is the light pink with the mushrooms. C is the light pink with the pine needles. D is the dark pink or red with the mushrooms. E is the reddish houndstooth print. F is the darker pink with the micro dots. So that will give you the same layout that I have, and that's exactly what we had for last week. Okay, so if you guys have questions about that, let me know. I saw that some of you are changing that up. Some of you are using the main pink print, and I think that's really, really cute. I think that'll be really sweet in those Churn Dash blocks. So you can also make yours very different and scrappy if you like to. If you do that, I would change everything up. If you want that scrappy look, I think that would be really sweet too. So just some options for you on assembly, and I want to make it as easy as possible for you. The other thing I wanted to tell you is for the pink mushrooms, that's the B prints, some of those, if you want those to be directional, some of them need to be cut out against the selvage and some need to be cut out with the selvage. So that makes it so that your little mushrooms, I don't know, can you guys see? So this has the mushrooms going up and down. So does this, but this one was cut out with a horizontal strip. This is a vertical strip. That makes sense. So that is so that when you assemble it, your little mushrooms all face the same way. So these are, these are the horizontal strips right here. Nope, wrong finger. It's like a mirror. So these are the, let's see, I can't see what I'm doing. These are the horizontal strips, and then these are the vertical strips. So if you want to do that the same way, you're going to cut out, you cut out a total of 24 of the pink mushrooms. You're going to cut out 16 vertical strips, which are these, 16 of these, and 8 of these. And that's going to give you your 24 total. Okay? So when it comes to the dark pink, it's a little bit trickier, and I did, because this is a little bit smaller piece, I did just let the directionalness go on that. If you want to make sure that your mushrooms all face the same way on this as well, because you're doing them as half square triangles, you might need to cut out a few extras and play with that layout to get that all, so they're all laid out correctly. Does that make sense? So I hope that helps and gives you a little bit of tips on the cutting. So I just want to double check and make sure. Jimmy says that did quilting years ago when her kids were little, have tried again but not much, would love to get new ideas. Well, good, I'm glad you're here. Darlene's late. Hi, Darlene. Okay, so Rhonda says she brought a Creative Grids HST ruler to help. That's great, Rhonda. I hope that helps for you. Okay, great. So let's talk about sewing. I'm going to move the teacup. And really, you guys, I'm not going to go over all of this, but I do want to walk you through some of the assembly and the ways that I did it to make it a little bit faster. Because we have lots of pieces here, we're making these whole rows. We're making all these rows, and each of these are individual pieces that are here, you know, all these little strips. I did do this in chain piecing format, so I'm going to show you how I laid it out. I'm going to move cameras here so that I can lay it out for you, and you can see what I'm talking about. So let me get my mouse. All right, here we are. Oh my gosh, it's really pouring now. Hopefully you don't have any problems. If I go away, I will come back eventually. We've never had a problem getting the running out of power during our videos, so hopefully we don't ever have that problem. Okay, so what I've done is a little bit of prep for you. I have gone ahead and made all of my half square triangles, and when I do that, I do like to keep them in my print stacks. So all of my pink dots are here, all of my mushrooms are here, all of my houndstooths are here. And I do that with my strips as well, because that way when I'm doing a layout like this, I can just look at my instructions, which kind of shows you, well, it exactly shows you. So here, you know, here's your letters to assemble. So then I can use my little alphabeties, which I don't have for you guys today, but, you know, and if you keep them on there, it makes grabbing your designs that are, you know, keeping your fabric straight a little bit easier. So just helping yourself be a little bit more organized. I have little strings everywhere here so that you can assemble and you can keep everything sort of organized. So the other thing that I did ahead of time is I took all of my horizontal strips. So those are these strips, and I went ahead and sewed them to the corresponding background fabric. So those are all of these, and I laid those out. And so what I did during assembly is I just chain pieced this in a section. So I took this top row and I started to sew it, and I did that for all four. Well, I just have this one put together for you, but I would do it for all four of my rows. So go ahead and just chain piece, and I'll show you what to do here. So I would pick up this one first. This is the H background and my F print square. And I would go ahead and look and see, okay, what goes next to that? G and C. And these are already assembled for me. So I know I can just grab this, which is the pink pine needles, and I can sew those together. And I can do that 4 times. I will only do it 3 times because I already have one assembled. So I'm just laying these together. Shimmy this a little bit so you guys can see better. And I'm going to do it again. Make sure that my pieces are aligned the correct way. And I'm going to just do this again. I haven't clipped my threads, but I'm just going to keep going. Well, my machine is it's being difficult. Okay, and one more time, because I'm only sewing 3 rows. You will do this 4 times. And then I will show you, and we will open it up, and then we will add the next one. But if you have these all laid out next to your machine, super organized by type, then you can just easily grab them and sew them together. So now you can see I have got the first row all sewn together. I have 3 of these. So now I know that the next one is another F print block, so I will sew that here. And I will turn it over and continue down. And I will do that all the way until I've reached the end of the block. And then I separate them and press them, and I have my rows, my top portions of the churn dashes all sewn together. So does that make sense? And then I will do the exact same thing once I have those all done with the middle section. So now I'm going to do the exact same thing with here. But because I haven't, you can either sew your pieces together or you can just do it all strip pieced. I have my verticals all separate still. You can do whatever you'd like though. I'm going to scoochy these out of the way. And this way I am picking up a G print, I am picking up a C pine needle print, and I'm going to do the exact same thing. Just chain piece all the way down so you have these nice long rows. And it saves on thread too, because you're not cutting and starting and stopping your thread every single row as well. So now if this confuses you or you feel like it is overcomplicated for you, please feel free to assemble your churn dash blocks in sections. So, you know, if you need to, oh, I cut that. If you need to have your groups together by more like block style. So if it's easier to keep track for you to sew like this together and then add it to the next one next to it or whatever, please find whatever way works best for you. So now we're going to pretend that I didn't cut that. So now we have the first section, and we're going to go ahead and sew the large center of your churn dash block together. Now, if you want to, I love churn dashes. Well, I love the shape of them, but they're also really, really great for doing all sorts of fun things with, because there's a big square in the center. So if you want to get really creative with your churn dash blocks, you could fussy cut something else instead of background fabric for the center. Or you could add like a little bit of embroidery. Always keep that in mind with Churn Dash blocks because they're so perfect for that. In fact, I'm working on a quilt that's made up entirely, well, almost entirely, of different Churn Dash blocks. And so it's a mix of Churn Dash blocks and Flying Geese blocks. And there are embroidered words in all the Churn Dash blocks. So I have the hand embroidery version done, and I'm working on a machine embroidery version so that I can put that out so you have options for putting it together. But it's one of my favorite quilts I've ever made. I can't wait for you guys to see it. Okay, so here now I have started assembling this row. You can see that I've got this one, and what I basically started putting together is this little section right here. So I've done these 3 pieces. So now you would just continue and add a pink pine needle, and then you'll add another, what's the letter? G background piece. I can't always remember the letters. So I hope that helps as far as just an easier way, because I know it can feel a little bit daunting with all these tiny pieces. And these aren't super tiny, but you know what I'm saying. To feel like, oh my gosh, so much assembly is happening this week. But once you just sort of line everything up, if you have it organized on your table, you can just grab your pieces, you know, use your pattern as a reference and line everything up. So you can see we're doing pretty quickly here. We're just assembling all of our little churn dashes. So, oh, Michelle says it takes so much longer doing blocks when it's directional. It does take a little bit longer. And if it doesn't matter to you if they're directional or not, please don't feel like you need to do that. These little mushrooms are pretty small. I think they're really about a quarter, maybe a little over a quarter of an inch. So by the time you put them in your quilt, it's not going to matter what shape, what direction they're going. They're wee little guys, so it's going to look cute no matter what. Okay, Maureen's watching. Hey, Maureen. Oh, yay. So, Mary Beth says she struggles to just sew without ripping out mistakes. Mary Beth, everybody does. Everybody rips out. I ripped out all the time. I told you on my other little, my pop star block, I spent some good time with that and my little seam ripper. So don't feel like if you seam rip, you're not like everybody else. We're all, I keep my seam ripper like next to me all the time. In fact, I have one here just in case I run into a mistake during a video because nobody's perfect, Mary Beth. So, all right. Oh, yay. I'm glad, Susie. That sounds fun. I'm glad you're excited about it. Hey, Stephanie. She's here for fun today. Yeah, I'm so glad you're here. Oh, Nanny just joined us. Nanny, you're our winner from last week's giveaway. Congrats. So you won. Send me an email, bev@flamingotoes.com, and I'll get your prize out to you this week. So yay for that. Okay, so next would be another background square, another background piece. And then you start the whole thing all over again with the next churn dash. So I hope that helps a little bit. It's a lot of straight sewing this week. Well, we have some half square triangles to make, but once you assemble those, then we have lots of just, you know, assembling in rows, all of our little strips. And so you're going to make 4 of these. And again, you're not going to sew these onto the block, onto your center block yet. This week you're going to wait, and next week, I hope you guys are excited, we're doing trees. I love tree blocks, you guys. I think I'm just going to put them on every quilt from here on out. Every quilt's going to have tree blocks, and you're going to be like, Bev, stop with the tree blocks. Let me go back to my... Okay, so I hope that you guys, that helps. It's stuff we've covered so far in the video, so if you're struggling a little bit with your half square triangles, feel free to go back to last week's video or the week before where I go over some tips on sewing those together and some time-saving methods for trimming. So if you're not sure about that, that's all you need. All that info's in the last 2 weeks' videos. Next week, we're going to be doing stitch and flips on our trees. So I'm going to talk about that and then just going to talk about general layout in that. So let me show you our schedule just as a little reminder. Okay, so this is April 11th. Oh, look, we're doing good. Oh my gosh, we're over halfway. This was the halfway turning point. I love it. So this was our second week of Churn Dashes. Next week we'll do trees, which are the strips that, of course, go above the Churn Dash rows. And then we're going to do the corner stars, which are really fun to do. They look fussy, but they're not, you guys. You're gonna love them. And then on May 2nd, we're gonna do assembly. Some of you have already started. And on that week, we're gonna go over really how everything fits together. And then after that, on the 9th, we'll do borders. So it's going to, gosh, we don't have too many more weeks left. It's coming together. I hope you're loving it. I'm loving your photos. So just as a reminder, we are partnering with Brooke from Lady Belle Fabrics and Lady Belle Quilting, same thing, for this sew along, and she is awesome, you guys. She is offering 20% off of long arm services for anybody that's sewing along with us. So if you are making a Walk in the Woods quilt, as long as you finish before July, we gave you a little bit of a buffer to kind of finish up after the sew along ends in May, so you have another couple months to finish up. Sorry, I need a drink. So she's offering 20% off her long arm services, which is a great deal, you guys. And it's so perfect because that, you know, it's just hard to have a quilt top sitting there that you put so much time into. So it's really nice to be able to send it off and have it come back beautiful. And she's got really cute designs. So you can already reach out to her. I've linked to her quilting website in today's video description. So you can already reach out to her if you want to get on her schedule for the summer and start talking to her about what sort of design you might like. And she's great if you're not sure, or if you've never done long arming before. She is great about suggesting things too. So feel free to reach out to her even if you've never done long arming before or had someone do a long arm quilting on your quilt before. Then the other thing that we're doing is we're partnering on a big giveaway at the end, and this will be announced at the end of the sew along, so earlier in May. But we are giving away long arm quilting for one person that has sewn along. And so if you are sewing along and sharing your photos, you're already entered into the giveaway. Every entry, every photo that you share is a entry into the giveaway. So I'm keeping track of all the photos that you've shared. Make sure that you're using the hashtag A Walk in the Woods SAL. That's in the video description as well. So all you have to do is copy it and paste it into your photos, or you know what I mean, your photo description. And that will be your entry into the giveaway. So it's really exciting, you guys, to be able to do that. I'm so excited to partner with her on this. So make sure you check out her website. I don't know if she had some A Walk in the Woods kits. If you're just now finding the videos and you decide you want to sew along with Enchanted Meadow, it's not too late. All the videos are available for you to watch at any time. So I don't know if she still has kits or not. I think there are a few shops that still do. So you can check that out in the video description. I have links to all the shops still carrying Enchanted Meadow there. So check all that out too. So, all right. I hope that you guys are having fun and excited to do trees. Everybody's excited to do trees. Me too. Okay, so we are going to do trees next week. You guys have a fabulous week. Stay dry. If it's wet, I hope you're having a really nice spring. If you ever have questions or anything you're stuck on, please comment in the Facebook group or send me an email. I'm always happy to help. I love hearing from you guys. And if you're sharing photos, definitely use that hashtag and tag me so that I don't miss them. And I think that's it. You guys have a great week. I will see you next Monday. Thanks so much for tuning in. Bye.